Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning to you from here in Denver. I'm very happy to be here with you today. So my name is Emma Sletteland. I am the International Recruitment and Enrollment Coordinator at the University of Colorado, Denver. We are a public research university located in Denver, Colorado, in the Western United States. And today I'm going to be talking about undergraduate research. So what it is, how to get involved in it, the benefits of it, and then I'll finish up by telling you a little bit about my university, CU Denver. All right, so what is undergraduate research? So the technical definition is any inquiry or investigation conducted by an undergraduate student that makes an original intellectual or creative contribution to the discipline. So that's a long definition, but it's basically any sort of academic project where you are researching and creating something in your field of study. So it's a collaboration between an undergraduate student and a faculty member, so a professor at your university. It is not just for science majors. So often when we hear research, we typically think about like a science lab and really sort of STEM and hard sciences. That's definitely one side of it. But undergraduate research can also include creative activity. So it could be music, it could be a work of art, it could be looking at historical documents, it could be publishing an article. So it's not just limited to science STEM majors. Really, whatever academic field you're interested in, you can do research in that area. So there are so many benefits to conducting undergraduate research. I think there's also a tendency to think that research is only for graduate students. So that's something you would do more when you're in your master's program. But in the US, there are so many opportunities to get involved in research at the undergraduate level. And that really sets you up for success and gives you a lot of good skills and experience while you're working on your bachelor's degree. So you're getting real world experience in hands-on learning in your study. So it's taking you beyond the textbook into the lab or into the studio or whatever it is, and it's giving you that real practical experience. It's also great for networking because you may meet other individuals interested in your field of study. It's a great mentorship opportunity because you will be working directly with a professor who is mentoring you and helping you through your research. It looks great on your resume, of course, to say you were involved in a research project at the undergrad level. You gain skills from it. It's a great way to explore career options. So if you get into the work and you're actually doing it, that's a really great way to help you figure out if this is something you actually want to do your career in. It helps you get prepared for graduate school if you're thinking about going that route. And it gives you all kinds of practical skills about learning to actually work independently, problem solving skills. And at the end of it, you have a project with a tangible outcome that you have completed, that you can put on your resume, and that you have learned from. So undergraduate research is considered what's called a high impact practice, or a HIP. So this is a term we use in the United States. It was created by the American Association of Colleges to describe educational practices that take you beyond the classroom and that are really beneficial to college students. So undergraduate research is one. Some other examples of high impact practices are internships, study abroad, capstone projects. So basically anything that sort of takes you beyond the classroom and just regular learning and really makes your learning come alive. So there is a ton of research out there showing the positive associations between high impact practices and student learning. So students who are involved in these activities get better grades, they're more likely to graduate, they're having better career outcomes after graduation. So participation in a high impact practice like undergraduate research can really be life-changing. And I can speak to that personally because I actually did my undergraduate degree at CU Denver, and I participated in several high impact practices, one of which was studying abroad, which is actually sort of indirectly what led me to my career today. So I speak from experience that getting involved in these opportunities like undergraduate research really adds so much to your education. All right, so next I'm going to move into some examples of what undergraduate research looks like at CU Denver. So most universities in the US will have similar opportunities. So these are pretty standard at any research university in the US. And most universities in the US do have the opportunity for you to get involved at research at the undergraduate level. So a few programs we have at CU Denver, we have the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program, we have the Eureka Fellows Program, and we have the Research and Creative Activities Symposium. So the Undergraduate Research Opportunities Program, or UROP, this is actually a program where you can get funding for your research. So they're mini grants, so you can receive up to $3,600 US, and these can be used for whatever you need for your research. So it can be used for buying supplies. It can be used for travel if, say, you need to go to a conference to present on your research. So it's giving you the funding to actually make your project a reality. And all of these projects will be working with a faculty sponsor who will be providing that mentorship for you and guiding you through the project. This is an example of a UROP recipient at CU Denver. They're called Team Hyperlinks. So the Hyperlinks was a multidisciplinary project between several of our departments in engineering. And so this was actually related to the SpaceX Hyperloop pod competition. So if you know what that is, it's a super high fast train sort of thing that's being developed by SpaceX. And so they actually had a competition to develop the pod for it. So basically like the equivalent to a train car that would take you on this Hyperloop system. So over 200 teams from around the world submitted applications, and our team, Hyperlinks, was selected as one of the 21 finalists worldwide. So the team was actually able to travel to the competition and got some news coverage. And as you can see from the photos here, they actually created a prototype of this Hyperloop pod. So this is a really great example because it just shows, you know, they're actually physically creating a tangible outcome, and they got to have this great professional experience of going to this competition. And they're working collaboratively with other departments in the university. So they're working across departments. All right, so the Eureka Fellowship Program. So this is a summer research program. It also comes with a stipend to cover your research costs. And so while you're in this program, you'll be working full-time, you're participating in trainings and professional development activities, and you're also taking a course. It's called the Eureka Entering Research course. So this helps you prepare, if you're interested in going into a research career, it helps you develop those professional skills necessary for the research environment. And then there's also a travel grant with that. So if you want to travel to a conference to present on your research, you can also get funding for that. And finally, the Research and Creative Activities Symposium. This is one of my favorite events every year. So we put this on every May, and it's where everyone gets together to showcase and share their work with each other. So we have over 200 student researchers who participate every year. And so there are different ways to present. So as you can see from the photo, there are poster presentations. There are also oral presentations and art exhibits. So depending on what kind of work you're engaged in, it's just a great opportunity to show that work with the community. It's another really great networking event. And it's so cool to see the projects that students are working on every year. So we have a short video about the Research and Creative Activities Symposium. Oops.
ROCUS showcases a wide variety of student work, not just hypothesis-based experimentation. They have students displaying their artwork or also exhibits. And for me, my project was an exhibit. And so this gave me the audience and the ability to be able to bring this project to a symposium, show other students, faculty, and the community what I've been working on, and also collaborate and speak with other students. Participating at ROCUS made me feel confident in my abilities and my research. My favorite part about presenting at ROCUS was being able to show people virtual reality and anatomy in that environment. So for many students, they've never seen virtual reality before. Watching students put on that headset for the first time and see like, wow, this is really what we look like on the inside was a lot of fun. Made me excited about my work too.
So that's one great example of the type of undergraduate research you could get involved in and the type of project you could do. So as I mentioned, there are poster presentations, there are exhibits, there's video, there's oral presentations. And the mission of this event is really just to get everyone together and showcase the work and promote collaboration. So it's a really great event. This is just another example of student work at the symposium. So there's a competition every year, so you can get awards for your work. And so this is an example that's another sort of non-science example. So showing that no matter what field you're in, you can get involved in undergraduate research. So this one was in education, actually. So this was in the arts and humanities and social sciences category. So they were looking at inclusionary practices in the classroom and looking at instructional methods and how to help students of more diverse backgrounds get involved and feel confident in the classroom. All right, so I hope I've sold you on all the benefits of undergraduate research. So how do you actually get involved in this? So the first step would be to reach out to the undergraduate research office. Most universities in the US will have one, and they have staff there who are able to support you throughout the process. You'll want to think about what area of interest you'd like to do your research in. You'll want to do some research on the projects that your professors are already doing. So a lot of times your professors will be conducting their own research, and sometimes they need students to help them out with that. So that could be a great opportunity to help them out with that research. So you'll want to identify some professors you'd be interested in working with. You'll want to think about the time commitment. So this is obviously something you would be doing in addition to your regular classes, and it is a time commitment. You'll want to connect with the faculty, follow up. You'll want to understand what they're expecting from you and what you expect from them in terms of mentorship. And then you'll, of course, want to actually do the work and then present it at an event such as the Research and Creative Activities Symposium. And then, of course, encourage other students to get involved and do the same. So some tips and tricks for your first research experience. Of course, it helps to come in enthusiastic with an open mind. Definitely ask lots and lots of questions because this is such a good learning opportunity for you. Be a good listener, take lots of notes. Really encourage you to get to know your mentor because that's someone who may be willing to help you, for the rest of your life as you progress along in your career. Be willing to try and fail. This is a really unique opportunity to have this environment, sort of a safe environment in school where you can try out new ideas and see if they work or not. And it's not for a job, so you don't have to worry about, your performance in it. So try new ideas. This is the time and the place to do it, is in undergraduate research, and just have fun with it. All right, so that concludes the part talking about undergraduate research. And I just want to share a quick overview of the University of Colorado, Denver. So as I mentioned, we are a public R1 research university. So the R1 classification is used in the United States. So there are R1, R2, and R3 universities to designate the level of research activity happening at those universities. So we have about 15,000 students, 7% international, including some students from Brazil. And we are comprehensive. So we have over 140 programs across 7 schools and colleges. And what really sets us apart is our unique location in the heart of downtown Denver, Colorado, which is a really great up and coming city. So some of our most popular programs, so definitely engineering and business are some of our most popular. These are also great programs where you could get involved in undergraduate research. Definitely within engineering, these are all designed to be very research intensive programs. So there would be great opportunities there. Also within business, we have several centers and industry programs. So for example, we have the Jake Jabs Center for Entrepreneurship, and every year they do a competition called the Climb, which is a startup competition. So you can actually come with your business idea and get funding to make that happen. So that's another place where you could make that an undergraduate research project in the field of business. We also have some great programs within arts and media. We have the only architecture program in the state of Colorado, and we've got some great programs within the sciences, public affairs, and education. I mentioned our location in Denver, Colorado. So Denver is just an awesome city. It's a really fun place to be. It's actually been ranked the #2 best place to live in the US. Our campus is right downtown in the middle of it, but you also have access to the Rocky Mountains, to some of the world's most famous hiking, climbing, skiing, and really great outdoor activities. In terms of our student life, we really pride ourselves on our diversity. We are one of the most diverse schools in Colorado. So we have students from many different backgrounds, and it's a very welcoming, open-minded community. And of course, we've got many different student clubs, sports, and lots of fun activities to get involved in. You can choose to live on or off campus at CU Denver. We do have 2 different student housing communities, including City Heights, which is a brand new first-year residence hall, which just opened this fall. So we're really excited about that. So you could have a chance to live in a brand new building right in downtown Denver. In terms of our tuition and scholarships, we have a lot of scholarship opportunities for undergraduate students. So we have automatic merit scholarships for up to $10,000 a year. We also have additional merit and need-based scholarships that require a secondary application. And then there are also program-specific and external scholarship opportunities. And just quickly touching on our application process, we have a pretty quick and easy online application process. We do not require the SAT or ACT, so it's pretty straightforward. All we need is the online application, your high school transcripts, and proof of English language proficiency. And we do offer rolling admissions, so we're pretty flexible in terms of deadlines. But we do have some priority deadlines if you're planning on applying for the scholarships. And so I'll leave my contact information here. So we would love to hear from you guys if you're interested in CU Denver. If you go to that QR code or link, you can sign up to receive more info from us. And of course, you can visit us on our website or follow us on social media. All right.
Excellent.
Well, I would love to answer questions if there are any.
Yes, for this part of the presentation, if the students have any kind of questions they want to share, please feel free to open your mics and do the question you have directly, or you can also use the chat room. For instance, I understand that and you said it, your institution is a NAR1 institution, and you said that there are like 3 different levels. R1 is the best in it, right?
Yes, so
How does it
R1,
go?
yeah, so R1 means there's the highest level of research activity happening. And it's called the Carnegie Mellon classification system. That's just what it's called. But yeah, so 1 is the most research is happening, and 3 would be the least. So if you're thinking about a career in research, or you want to get involved in undergraduate research, I would definitely try to look for an R1 university.
And that translates to both resources and also funding, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, we have a question from Anna. Anna, do you want to open your mic? Just let me mute yourselves. If you want to open your mic and share your question.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, guys.
Hi, Anna.
Hello, I loved it. I got a question about, does the university accepts the applications through a common app?
We do, yes. So we are on the Common App.
Okay, thank you. And is there any way to get a few waiver for if you want to apply like straight to the university instead of common app?
Yeah, so if you apply directly through our website, we are definitely happy to offer a fee waiver for all you guys participating in the webinar today. If you apply through the Common App, we unfortunately can't offer that waiver through the Common App. But if you go to this short link here and sign up to receive emails from us, we will actually send you an application fee waiver code once you do that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is great news for our students, especially since we are paying for the application in reais, Brazilian reais. I have another question for João Amorim. He put it on the chat. He would like to know if the Duolingo English test is accepted as an English proficient test in the application process.
Yes, we do accept Duolingo. It's definitely becoming more and more popular. So for Duolingo, we require a 105 overall with an 85 in each subscore.
Excellent. I saw that you are test optional for SAT and ACT exams. It has always been like that, or since the pandemic, have you changed anything, and why?
Yeah, so we actually always were test optional for international students because we knew that not everyone may have the access or ability to take the SAT in different countries. But since the pandemic, we've gone test optional for all students, so for US students as well. And I think actually many schools in the US are going that way since the pandemic.
Yes, they are. Were the research of the students impacted in any way due to the pandemic during this time? Would you have that kind of information to share?
I mean, yes. So definitely when when the university went totally virtual in 2020, like most other universities, that definitely did have an impact on research for those who needed to, physically be in labs or studios or something like that. But research was one of the top priorities when we started reopening. So actually before students were even like back in classrooms or offices were open or anything like that, we did have students and faculty going back to campus for their research because we knew that was such a priority. So they got, special permissions to be allowed on campus and access the labs and all of that. But we opened that back up pretty much as soon as we could.
Excellent. Could you go back to that slide in which you let the students know how they can access the research and
Yeah.
opportunities? Just because we have a question on the chat, and Wilson is actually asking, let me go back here. Do the students have to have research ongoing, or they can actually get started with the project while in college?
Yeah, so you can get started with it new in college. So you don't have to have it already started. And I don't think we would
Project or an
expect.
idea,
Yeah.
not required, right?
Yeah. And yeah, I don't think we would expect most students coming out of high school to already, have that project idea. So that's something you could really explore during your first couple semesters as you get to know your faculty and your interests. And then, yeah, you can definitely come up with that project.
And are they allowed to get involved with that right on their first year, or is there any time that they have to wait, or is it any kind of requirement about that?
Yeah, so at CU Denver, at least, I don't think we have any specific requirements that they have to like be in a certain semester. I would say though that, undertaking a research project, it is extra work and it is going to be extra time and extra effort and all of that. So I think it might be a good idea during your first semester, especially if you're in a new country, in a new school, just to kind of get settled and get used to everything and make sure you're doing well in your classes and you feel comfortable. It might be a lot to take on during your first semester, but it's definitely possible if you feel comfortable. I just want to make sure you're sort of ready for that time commitment.
Students are also very excited with the idea of having more career opportunities and working opportunities as well throughout this experience with research, and, well, the American education at all.
Mhm.
We have a question incoming. João would like to know if the institution and how the institution would help students in finding a position in the market, since they have this kind of opportunity, and how it would work. I know, for instance, that for international students, they aren't allowed to work as a full-time job, but they can get a few internships, assistance experiences, and up to 20 hours per week. And how could, and if there is the opportunity for international students on campus, how would the university assist them to reach out to those opportunities?
Yeah, that's a great question. So most universities, including CU Denver, will have a career center or an internships office. And that would usually be the best place to start, because there are career counselors who are there to help you explore those opportunities. Most schools will also have their own job board. So at CU Denver, we use something called Handshake, which a lot of schools in the US use, but that's basically a job board specific to CU Denver. So that will be posting opportunities where they're specifically looking for students versus just going on like indeed.com and trying to find a general job outside of the campus community. So there are a lot of resources and support to help get students into those positions. And then if you do find an internship opportunity that's directly related to your field of study that's off campus, you can also do that through CPT, curricular practical training. And then you would just need to work with your immigration advisor on all of that, but that's definitely a possibility.
Excellent. Excellent. Do you have any further questions for our guest today? If you have, feel free to share it on the chat board. If you don't, well, Emma, thank you so much for doing this today. Thank you for sharing all this information with us. I understand that our audience are really happy to know all of that. And it's very good to know that students, even in their undergraduate degree years, are still able to pursue and be involved with research opportunities on campus. So thank you for
Yes.
sharing all of that. Especially thank you for sharing your contact information. Like I said, this session was recorded and will be made available on our YouTube channel. So hopefully we'll be receiving soon lots and lots of contact information from students and also others interested in obtaining more information about your own institution. So thank you so much for doing this. Thank you for taking the time for being with us today. And let us know if you have any other questions. Please, students, feel free to reach out to us, Education USA, here in Brasilia or in any other locations in Brazil. And specifically to Emma if you have any concerns about Colorado, Denver. Emma,
Thank you so much.
thank you. Have a nice day, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.